Hey, what's going on, family? Marcus Williams coming back to you. And just wanted to share some information with you guys. I was just kind of sitting, doing some work, and I just started thinking about some numbers. And just a nice way to, I know a lot of people set goals in 2000 for the new year, things that they want to do, whether it's, taking care of or getting better with their health, fitness, finances, and things like that. So, as you guys know, I spend a lot of time really trying to do my best with educating people about finances and financial literacy. And I like to just make things as easy as possible and just break things down. Okay. So, as I mentioned today, I was just kind of really just thinking about a particular project that I'm certain that I'm taking advantage of, and I've been working and dealing with this particular investment project for going on 3 years, and the amount of success that myself, along with literally hundreds of thousands of people, has been absolutely incredible. And what I wanted to do today was just really break down how easy it could be for you to get started and to maximize your returns. Okay. So we're going to talk about, I already got the stuff already written on the board. We're going to get into that. We're going to spend a lot of time talking about retirement accounts, savings accounts, and things like that, and potentially how you can repurpose some of that money to make your money work harder and even faster for you. Okay. So let's just jump right into it. I don't want to, just keep talking about and spend a lot of time on this intro. All right. So let's just get into it. So when I talk to people about investing, a lot of people will tell me, like, you know what, Mark, I really want to get into investing, and they have some sort of hesitation about investing. Okay, and I got a whole ebook that you can get that really breaks down all of the mistakes that a lot of people make when it does come to investing. But a lot of people may be investing and just don't know about it, or maybe don't even pay attention to it. So, one of the easiest ways to get started with investing is typically through your employer. So, a lot of people work, right? And there's absolutely nothing wrong with working, absolutely nothing wrong with doing that to take care of yourself and your family. And working does have some benefits. Now, one of the benefits that come along with most employers is the opportunity to participate in their retirement plan. So, depending on where you work at, whether you're in the private sector, whether you're in government, whether you're in, whether you're in government, so you may have like a 401k, a 403b, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Long gone are the days of pensions. Okay. So we, as people who work, have to take care of your retirement through investing. Okay. Now, most people, when it does come to their company's retirement plans, depending on how long you've been in the job and things like that, um, more so recently, you participate in your employer's retirement plan unless you opt out. All right. So generally speaking, when you're working, you are participating in a retirement plan until you opt out. Okay. So now, with that being said, most people are in their retirement plans. You don't see the money. You're not actively doing it. It comes directly into your paycheck and goes right into that retirement plan. Okay. So now, what can we? Now, how does that work? All right. So usually, when you're part of that retirement plan, um, uh, you may get statements. Maybe you are actively involved with your retirement plan, so forth and so on. So I want to go over some statistics, okay? And also, some people just may not participate in a retirement plan, and maybe they just save, or they believe that saving, just saving in a traditional regular savings account, will lead them to the lifestyle that they want to have during their retirement years, or if they choose to work, stop working sooner. Okay, so let's just really, now, as I'm going through this, I want you to think logically. Remove the emotions. Okay, we're going to talk some facts. Now, I'm going to run over some numbers, run over some statistics. I'll let you guys know right now the numbers that I got. You can Google them. I should have quoted them where I got these numbers from, but for the most part, they either came from Forbes or Motley Fools, okay, from their website, just doing some research there. All right. So let's just jump into it. And also, I want to make the point, I am not giving out financial advice. This is not financial advice. I'm simply sharing uh, a strategy that I use that I found to be useful and helpful that I just want to share with my family and friends out there, or anybody out there for that matter, who's looking to speed up their retirement. I'm going to talk about that. So let's go over some figures. So for starters, the average American in their savings account is $25,000. All right. The median savings is 1,200. So, Mark, what does that mean? What is the difference? Okay, glad you asked. So, with the average, what they do is um, they literally look at all of the savings accounts that's out there, see what the balances are there. Okay, they tally up those balances. Okay, then they divide it by the number of accounts that there are. And then that gives you your average of 25,000. Okay. So there's a small group of people who have savings accounts with a balance of well over 100,000, 250,000 or more. Okay. It's a small group in comparison to the majority. Okay. So that's the average. So what is the median? Median is now they look at each savings account and they put the balances in order from $0 up to however many dollars is in the person with the highest savings account balance. For illustration purposes, let's just call that $100 million. I'm almost certain, just because I know very wealthy people, they're not keeping $100 million in a savings account. But just for illustration purposes, let's just say that. And then what they do is, let's say that there's um, uh, 500 of those, okay? 500 accounts, 5,000 accounts, right? They literally line them up in order and then they go directly to the account in the middle. So what it does is it gives you an idea from the lowest to the highest, and then that gives you a little bit more of a degree of accuracy in terms of what's in someone's account. So most people have an account with less than, let's just call it less than $5,000, less than $2,500, $1,200. The average interest rate on these savings accounts, and this is talking about CDs, your regular standard savings account, is about 0.5%, 0.55% on average. All right. Now let's get into these retirement accounts that we just talked about. Now the average retirement account balance for U.S. citizens is 87,000. Okay, 87,000. Now these next set of numbers, um, it goes a little bit deeper into categorizing these balances based off race or ethnicity. All right. Now, this is not a racial thing that I'm doing here, but I really want my people to see what this looks like. Okay. Especially with me being a young Black man, I really, one of my passions is to really just drive the point home about finances. Okay. So when we break down this average balance, our white brothers and sisters, on average, they have a retirement balance of $100,000. Our Hispanic brothers and sisters, on average, have a retirement balance of $55,000. And then our Black brothers and sisters, on average, have a retirement account balance of $39,000. Okay. So you're talking about Hispanics have about half of our white brothers and sisters, and my people, our Black brothers and sisters, have about a third of our white brothers and sisters. So these two groups have to get caught up. We have to get caught up, and of course, we got behind the eight ball for a variety of reasons. Okay, but One of those reasons is we didn't know, but now there's people like myself, and there's plenty of others, right? Even if you don't want to tune into me, there's plenty of others that's talking about financial education and how to do that. So we got to get caught up. All right. Now, most people, as mentioned at the onset, in their retirement accounts, those 401ks, 403bs, the IRAs, such and so forth and so on, usually they're investing in the makeup of stocks and some bonds. And on average, the average return is about 9% on your retirement accounts. Okay. So those are the numbers. Those are the numbers. You can Google them. So now, one of the strategies that I used is, okay, I don't want to work forever, right? I do not want to stop working. Well, I don't want to work and work for someone or work for an employer and for 40 years, 30 years, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. It's commendable if that's what you choose to do, but that's not something that I want to do. I want to I'm looking to get out of, working. I wanted to get out of working much faster than that. So what I did was I came across our group that I shared with many of you guys out there, UIGI Social Club, absolutely phenomenal, fantastic. And then I came across a project in the financial technology services industry, or fintech for short. Okay, and if you, and the name of this project is Daisy. All right. So now I've been talking about Daisy. It's been around for about Endotech has been around for a very, very long time, but the Daisy project started about 3 years ago. All right. And I have done tremendously well. All right. In terms of what we were able to earn based off the earnings that it was able to spit out. All right. So this is not a presentation about Daisy. I'm not talking about it. I'm not really spending a lot of time talking about it. If that's something you want to learn more about, whoever shared this video with you, get back with them or contact me and I'll show you how to get involved with the project. All right. But when I dug into that, I was like, let me just give this a try. And I tested some dollars out and the returns were like, whoa. Okay. So once I saw these returns last year, the returns were 786%. 786%. Yes, 786%. Let that sink in. Now, Endotech, and again, there's a whole, you want to learn about it, I'll get into it with you. The Endotech, to participate with them, um, those are only for financial institutions, accredited investors. Okay. And essentially, to be an accredited investor, you have to have a minimum of at least $1 million liquid. Um, that may have changed. I haven't looked that up, but at least that. And you have to have an income of at least 100 and $250,000 with the expectation that that is going to increase over time. That's an accredited investor. Again, that number may have increased, potentially decreased, but when I last checked, that's what it was. So you could get involved with the Daisy project for as low as $100, and there's no limit to how much you can, essentially park there and just let work for you to get these crazy returns like 786%. Now, someone may say, well, Mark, how are they able to get these returns? Again, that's going to be in there, but with today's moving technology, they're using artificial intelligence or AI, and they're investing in the forex space. Now, I did another video on returns for different asset classes, but on average, the forex space is returning 10% monthly, and that's on the low side. You understand? Okay. So now, once I saw that with the small initial investment, I was like, okay, I want to let's see what this looks like in the long, looking at this as a bigger picture. So I looked at, again, I'm not giving financial advice. This is what I did. If you choose to do that, do this. You're doing so on your own fruition. All right. So I was like, when it comes to your retirement accounts, you can borrow against your retirement account. Let me say that again. You can borrow against your retirement account. Okay. Now, in terms of borrowing against your retirement account, generally speaking, when you borrow from your retirement account, you're going to pay yourself back through payroll deduction. Okay. So if you're already contributing to your retirement account, um, that may stop, and then they're going to just take out, a small percentage of your paycheck to replenish what you borrow. Okay. Hopefully that makes sense. And yes, there's going to be some, generally speaking, there's a little bit of interest that's going to be on top of that for borrowing against your 401k. Okay. So they're trying to help you make up for some of these returns by hitting you with some interest to help make up for that. All right. Hopefully we got that. Now, the next thing is, as long as you pay it, as long as you're still employed, and double check this, do your research, um, there's no tax implications involved. However, if you sever ties with that employer and you have not paid it back, generally speaking, there's going to be tax implications involved. Now, what that looks like is it will be added to your income, meaning it'll be added to your salary, and then you're going to pay taxes according to how much you took out and didn't pay back, and you severed ties with that employer. Okay, so you have to meet all of that. Furthermore, if you're under the age of 65, when I last checked, you're subject to an additional 10% tax penalty. Okay. So what does that look like as an example? Right. So in my example, I'm going to assume that based off this average balance of 87,000 in one's retirement account, well, what if I just repurpose $5,000 of this? Okay. So first I want to talk about these taxes really quickly. So if I took out 5,000, and let's just say, just to make the numbers easy, um, well, the average income in the U.S. is about $60,000 a year. So if I took this, now instead of me being taxed off $60,000 a year, it'll be as though I'm taxed off of $65,000 for the year. Okay, that's how it's added to your income. Furthermore, because I'm under 65, so let's say off that $65,000 income, my tax implications came out to be $8,000. Okay, I just arbitrarily pulled that number out. This right. So because it was 5,000, I'm under 65. I'm subject to the 10% tax penalty. So now that's going to be an additional $500 in tax penalties. So now my tax implication would potentially be $8,500 based off our example. Got it? All right, cool. So I just pulled this number. It's whatever number you want it to be. But I was being conservative in my approach, and it's all about diversification. And I was like, you know what? This retirement account is already investing in um, the stock market, the bond market for the most part. I'm going to take this out and roll the dice in the forex market, and that could be whatever number you want it to be. Okay, it could be less than this, it could be more than this. I just arbitrarily chose 5,000 for our example. Okay. So now, if I took out 5,000 based off these averages, now if you're white American, your balance is down to 95,000. If you're Hispanic, your balance is down to 50,000. Sorry. If you are Black African American, your balance is now 34,000 by taking out 5,000. Right. So that's still going to do whatever it does in the market, earning this average of 9%. So 5,000, and I'm going to keep this simple. I'm disclosure, disclaimer, I'm using simple interest calculations. I'm not compounding it. Simple. So if I repurpose this 5,000, what does that cost me? Well, this 5,000 at 9%, so all you do is do 5,000 times 9%. Okay, you get about $800 or something like that. And then over the course of 20 years, assuming that there's 20 years to retirement, that 5,000 would make me $9,000 in 20 years. Okay. So just doing simple interest, 5,000 times 9%, then that number over the course of however many years towards retirement. That's what I would call your potential opportunity cost. Okay. Now, I made a decision using this example to repurpose this 5,000 over here and got 786% return, 86%. Okay. So now, what's interesting about that? Well, if I still have the time horizon of 20 years, okay, legitimately, if you do 5,000 times that in 20 years, that's $786,000 that 5,000 would have made me compared to the 9,000. I'm already to the good. But what's interesting is because it's growing so fast, let's just give it 5 years, assuming the same thing. That 5,000 now made me just under 200,000. It made me $196,000, right? Now, because it's growing so fast and I'm ready to walk away from work, or I want to quickly, or I enjoy what I do, but I want to quickly pay back this 5,000, because you can also just say, you know what, here's the money and just pay it back, get your balances back up. 5,000 times that number, you get $39,000 in 1 year. So you have the opportunity to now pay yourself back. You still got 34,000 that will still be continuing to work for you, even if you did this in a year. Okay? So literally, and then the thing about Daisy is that they also, because they are looking to go uh, public, well, the parent company, Endotech, they're also providing you with shares. So you also still get some potential earnings in the stock market. It's almost like if you were working at Amazon or Alibaba before they went public and you took shares. So with that, hopefully I got you to look at things a little bit differently and from a different perspective, right? Especially when I look at when I'm talking to people about this, because they're asking me what I'm doing, right? I get asked what I'm doing. How are you, how are you doing in this market? I go to a lot of places, I go to cigar lounges, stuff like that, and people talk about money. Money is not a taboo subject. Now tell them this, right? Or I meet somebody and they ask me, and the question is, or the response is sometimes like, you know what, I'm not familiar with that. Now I want to address that. Just because you're not familiar with something doesn't mean that you can't get started with something. Most people have no idea how their retirement accounts work. Most people don't even know how banks work. Even with this, the average person got 25,000 sitting in their savings account. The bank takes that 25,000 and they lend it out. They lend out your money at least 10 times. And then they're getting interest off the mortgage, off the credit card, so forth and so on. And off that interest that they're charging you as the consumer, they're going to return 0.5% back to you for borrowing your money that they are allowing other people to borrow, where they're making, 10, 15, 20%, and or they're even investing in the forex market. I'm not going to get into that. Most people don't even understand how their retirement accounts work, but yet they still participate in it. Okay. I say that to say some people, when they learn about this, because it's a new concept, they're not familiar with forex. Forex has been around since forever. Okay. Some people may have lack of understanding towards this, and then they may withdraw themselves from the opportunity. Okay. So you got to remember, you can't learn to swim by standing on the sidelines, right? You can't learn to swim by being outside of the water. You got to get in the water to learn how to swim. So you can always get started and then learn this stuff more, in depth. Okay. Then the next thing is people are like, you know what? I don't really have the financial resources to get started. Well, that may or may not be true because we see that the average person has $25,000 in their savings account. Furthermore, the average person has $87,000 in their retirement account. So, based off what one of the strategies that I used, I repurposed some of my retirement money. Not all of it, some of it. If you choose to implement this strategy, do what makes you comfortable. And again, I just arbitrarily use this number. This could be more or it could be less. So that way you can repurpose it, put some over here, take advantage. Take advantage. I don't know how long this is going to last, but I got the proof on my phone for this return. And who knows? I'll probably even attach it as a pic to this video and put it somewhere in the comments. Okay. But I hope this was helpful. I get super excited and passionate when I start talking about this because I know I'm truly trying to help you with your finances. Okay. And I really want to help put you in a position to have your finances in order and to retire much earlier if that's something that you choose to do. All right. So if you found this video helpful, certainly I'm going to put this on all different platforms. Certainly share it, like it, comment, get the algorithms moving so people can see this because a lot of people don't know this and a lot of people don't even know about this strategy. All right. So with that being said, family, you already know I'm out. Peace.